Hi everyone. I have been working on what I'm gonna say it's a celebration. I've been writing and I think I'm finally done. And so I wanted to share my words with you. This is going to be uploaded after the celebration. And I'm kind of pre-recording it also so that the day of I can just focus on the celebration and family and whatnot. So I will not be, you'll probably realize I haven't posted on Saturday. But I also thought going through it would be good practice and kind of give myself an idea of how long it's going to take, and also to try and say it out loud, and to I expect there's going to be a lot of emotion and there's going to be tears, but I'm hoping that if I can say it and practice it, that it won't be as intense. So I tried to keep it lighthearted at the beginning, but there's no way to not get emotional with your thoughts at the end. So that's the part that's gonna be hard. But I basically started off with telling stories of our childhood and how what I've learned, right? And so as kids, I learned very quickly that I should never play a game of Uno, Trouble, Clue, or Guess Who against her, because you will not win. Nope, it's not happening. As kids, I hated playing games with her because she always won. I don't know, even if it was like a game of chance, somehow she always won. The other thing that I learned was if you get her too wound up, she will erupt in an explosion of words that are spoken at the speed of light and only become louder and higher pitched the more she gets excited and goes on. It kind of drove people crazy. She just had so much to say when she was little, and she was so excited about it too. If she saw me do something, she would do it too. As evidence can be found of the scar on her head after performing a cartwheel into the health club, because I did it. Needless to say, she did not stick the landing. My dad confidently and calmly pulled her out of the water and did a great job of keeping her calm, and he put a towel on the back of her head and tried to stop the bleeding, until I came up and yelled, "Dad, I can see her skull!" Which just sent the whole situation into chaos. He definitely had some choice words with me after that incident. I also learned that if you need someone to pretend with, she was the one to go to. One Christmas, we had put up a nativity scene in the front yard, and it was just painted like wood figures. They're flat kind of wood figures, and there's like a spotlight on it. And it was just a stable and a manger, and Sarah and I decided to pretend to be Mary and Joseph. And I don't remember if we dressed up or not, but I do remember that we placed ourselves in front of the spotlight, in front of the stable, and pretended to be statues for a long time. And try to hold so still that cars would think we were part of the nativity. We spent hours pretending to be statues. The cars, and it worked. The cars would roll past and put down their windows. And say, "That's the most lifelike nativity we have ever seen." We were so excited after a car would pass, and we would reposition ourselves and reset for the next passing by car for hours in the dark. As teenagers, Sarah taught me that she would never give up, and she would always get back on the horse. Like, literally, she would get back on the horse. For my 16th birthday, my dad drove myself, Sarah, and a few of my friends to Longview, Washington to go horseback riding, because at the time that was the cheapest place we could find, and I was obsessed with horses. Sarah not so much, but because I was doing it, she wanted to do it. So we all went to Longview, Washington, and the ride started off great. Everything was going just fine. We made it down to the beach, and about 15 minutes into the ride, Sarah's horse begins to buck, and off she flies. I think it would have been completely understandable if she wanted to be done then and there, but instead she brushed herself off and got back on the horse. We continued to make our way to the beach, down the beach, and probably about 15 minutes later, Sarah's horse starts to buck again. And once again, Sarah goes flying off the horse. I would have been completely breaking down at this point if it was me. But once again, she brushed herself off and got back on the horse. As we get to our turnaround point to start heading back, it happens a third time. Finally, the trail guide decides it's time to switch horses with Sarah and to give poor Sarah a break. I still remember that ride so well, and how impressed I was with my little sister, that she would not give up and keep trying over and over and over again. And that determination was really tested by the two of us when we decided that we should go kayaking along the edge of San Juan Island in an inflatable kayak in the Straits of Juan de Fuca when the tide was going out by ourselves. Everything started out great. We were paddling along. It was a beautiful day. And then we got to a point where we were ready to turn around and go home, and tried paddling back and quickly discovered that we really weren't going anywhere. Every time we stopped to catch our breaths, we would lose all momentum and start slipping backwards. Our panic started to manifest by yelling at each other that the other wasn't trying hard enough. We probably yelled and argued and cried at each other for about 20 minutes as we fought the current and the tide. It was fairly scary. Finally, Sarah started to sing. And those of you who know Sarah, through her videos, Sarah has a beautiful voice. And with her voice, we were able to synchronize our strokes and calm our minds and make it back to camp. Did she stop there? No. Did we do the exact same thing the next day? Yes. The next day, we were back out in the kayak in the middle of the Puget Sound by ourselves, but this time we were armed with knowledge and teamwork. We waited for the tide to be just right and set a plan in motion for success. The water that morning was glass. The air was so still and quiet, and every stroke we made seemed to be amplified by the quiet. Once again, Sarah started to sing, and we sat quietly in the kayak and just observed everything around us. It was heaven. That's when a sea otter popped up, its head up, and stared at us, watching us so closely, trying to figure out what in the hell we were doing. The more she sang, the closer it got. When we decided that we should head home, that little otter followed the singing almost the whole way back. That was one of the first times she wasn't just my sister, but my best friend. And that together we could do anything if we supported each other. As an adult, I learned that I could tell her anything and there would be no judgment. She would listen to my frustrations and anxieties, and she always listened, and she never tried to fix it. She just listened. I could rely on her to be there for all the moments in life. My high school graduation, my silly college ballet recital, my band concerts that were so boring, my black belt test, being by my side when I got married, coaching me through labor of my son, the day I graduated college, and the day I graduated massage school. She has been by my side as a steadfast supporter and one of the very few people who have ever seen the true me. So when we realized that there was no getting off this path she was on, there was only one thing to do: to stand by her side and help her complete this path in life, and to do for her what she had done for me my whole life. To listen to her, to love her, to hold her and kiss her, to read to her and sing to her, and bring our time together full circle and have her come and live in my heart. And that's about it. Whew. I did better than I thought I would. Hopefully, Saturday will go well as well. And I'm okay with that amount of emotion. I just don't want to be so upset that I can't read it. So it has been helpful to practice with you guys and to share my sister with you. And to help me prepare for this final goodbye. Thanks, guys.